if Republicans really want to honor Donald Trump, the most appropriate way to do that is to name a federal prison. He might be visiting soon.
That is Virginia Democrat Jerry Connolly. He has formally introduced a House bill to rename this Florida prison the Donald J. Trump Federal Correctional Institution.
And I just thought, for a guy who's now got 88 criminal indictments pending, plus 2 major civil penalty trials that have already been resolved, costing him about $500 million, I think it's only fitting.
The move follows an effort by House Republicans to name Washington Dulles Airport after Trump. Democrats say the Florida prison is more appropriate.
You may get the Trump endorsement for that. I don't think there's a building he wouldn't want his name on.
Congressman Connor, are you going to sign on as a sponsor?
I sign on to almost any bill Jerry Connolly does. He's one of the smartest members of Congress.
The smart and witty trolling of Trump comes as the former president is again sparking intense ridicule and criticism. In his latest Woe Is Me social media posts, Trump compared himself to the late South African activist and statesman Nelson Mandela. Mandela served 27 years in prison for his leadership against apartheid. Mandela was never accused of rape or criminally charged with falsifying business records to pay off a porn star. And even Fox News noted the Trump contrast.
Why is he comparing himself to Mandela, and is he now worried about going to jail in this case?
No, not at all. Truth will ultimately prevail in this case and in all of the cases. The Democrats want President Trump confined to a courtroom. Unfortunately, he'll have to be on trial in a dirty New York City courtroom because Alvin Bragg is a far-left district attorney who has spent more time persecuting President Trump than prosecuting real violent criminals on the streets of New York.
The Trump spokesperson screeched a little longer, but you get the point. She never answered why Donald Trump is comparing himself to Nelson Mandela. So we have to fill in the blanks. The most likely answer is that Trump and his MAGA faithful don't know anything about Mandela, except that Mandela spent some time in prison. The not knowing anything theme seems to run through much of what Donald Trump says these days. Trump claims that the Truth social media platform he owns is awesome and worth billions of dollars. Actually, the company just reported huge losses and the stock price has dropped 50% in a week.
I mean, who would buy a company that literally has, I think, what does it have? $30 of revenue? It's a scam, just like everything he's ever been involved in is some sort of con.
Even Trump believer Maria Bartiromo on Fox posed a straightforward question to Trump media CEO Devin Nunes.
I was looking at the filing to the Securities and Exchange Commission and the loss. When would you expect this company to turn profitable?
Well, look, it's important to remember, Maria, that those numbers are based on what was the longest IPO in history. So we were over-regulated. So if you actually look at the cost that we built True Social, our beachhead against big tech, an impenetrable beachhead that everybody said couldn't be done without using big tech companies, that was built for a fraction of what many of these big tech dinosaur companies were built for.
Okay, Trump media cost less to build than other media companies. Devin Nunes went on for 2 minutes about that, but he never answered when the company will turn profitable. Did Maria Bartiromo follow up and try again? Of course not. Amidst all of this flim-flam, Donald Trump, though, has now finally offered what he describes as a more definitive policy position on the issue of abortion. Watch.
Many people have asked me what my position is on abortion and abortion rights, especially since I was proudly the person responsible for the ending of something that all legal scholars, both sides, wanted and, in fact, demanded be ended. Roe v. Wade. They wanted it ended. It must be remembered that the Democrats are the radical ones on this position because they support abortion up to and even beyond the 9th month. The concept of having an abortion in the later months and even execution after birth, and that's exactly what it is. The baby is born, the baby is executed after birth, is unacceptable.
Let's stop for a second because there were several lies there. First, Democrats did not want Roe v. Wade ended and kicked back to the states. Secondly, Democrats do not support abortion in the 9th month of pregnancy or after the baby is born.
My view is now that we have abortion where everybody wanted it from a legal standpoint, the states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land, in this case, the law of the state.
Here's the reaction from MSNBC's Morning Joe.
But he just said, really surprised. I thought he'd try to weasel out of it a little bit more than he did. What he just said was he supports, like, Florida's 6-week ban.
Yep.
6-week ban, ban before women,
insane.
Before women know whether they're pregnant or not.
Dangerous.
And bans like Wisconsin had, you know, that 1849 was total ban. I'm not sure if it's still in effect now, but there are, again, crazy, extreme laws that have been passed that Donald Trump just said he supports and he salutes and said, I'm responsible for that.
President Biden was quick to pounce. As Politico reported, Biden rips into Trump over abortion statement. Quote, when he ripped away Roe v. Wade, he ripped away a fundamental right, Biden said in a statement released by his re-election campaign. As a fundamental right, it didn't matter where you lived. It was granted to you as an American, not as a resident of any state. Trump is scrambling, Biden said. There's nothing more un-American than having our personal freedoms taken away, and that is what Donald Trump has done. Polls show the debate over women's reproductive rights could put several Trump-leaning states, including Florida, into play in November. So it is a bit surprising, as Joe Scarborough noted, that Trump stayed with the hardline conservative position. But Donald Trump was in danger of losing evangelical voters if he compromised or moderated his position on abortion. So Donald Trump is going with the far right on this issue and taking his chances with moderate and independent voters. The problem for Donald Trump is that never mind issues like abortion and the economy or high tech, Trump's personal character, or lack of it, is also now weighing him down with voters. Every time Donald Trump loses a civil lawsuit or a pre-criminal trial hearing, his numbers take another hit. And the trial calendar means the news on Trump's felony charges will soon intensify. The prospect of Donald Trump getting convicted this spring is real. And even if appeals keep Trump out of jail, the walls are closing in legally and politically. House Republicans can suck up to Donald Trump all they want with the effort to rename Dulles Airport, but a Trump association with prison and the loss of Trump's freedom, well, that's closer to reality. By the way, Donald Trump's fiercest supporter in Congress, Marjorie Taylor Greene, is getting slammed for claiming the recent earthquake in the Northeast was a warning from God. The Georgia Republican soon posted on social media, God is sending America strong signs to tell us to repent. Earthquakes and eclipses and many more things to come. I pray that our country listens. Keith Olbermann then answered many prayers by writing to Greene, moron, the EQ was sent 10 miles from Trump's crap shack in Jersey. If you were right, which you aren't, and if you were smart, which you aren't, you'd see the warning to repent is for those who are slaves to traitor Trump. Watch out for lightning, Margie. Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from Ryan Johnson 3615, who wrote, God's mad that Trump hasn't been punished yet? Makes more sense. I'm mad too. I hear you. I look forward to your comments about Democrats proposing to rename a federal prison after Donald Trump. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.